The market is full of tiny companies quietly sitting under $1, but a few of them are starting to flash signals that something big may be coming in 2026, not because of hype, but because their industries are on the edge of massive transformation. While most investors are busy chasing the big names, the real opportunities are often hiding in the smallest corners of the market. These are companies building technologies that could suddenly explode in value once demand catches up. And today, we're looking at two of those silent, under-the-radar players. Analysts believe these companies could be positioned for a major breakout over the next year. These aren't lottery tickets, and they aren't meme pumps. They're microcap innovators working inside industries that are undergoing very real, very fast change. Those industries are digital, healthcare infrastructure, and next-generation clean energy. And when the shift hits full speed, the companies prepared early are usually the ones that move first. But before I break down these two promising under $1 opportunities, I want you to help support this channel. I create deep research on low-priced gems that most people overlook. If you find value in videos like this, take 2 seconds right now to hit that like button. I'm aiming for 500 likes on this video. Your support truly helps push this content out to more people who want real insights, not hype. So smash the like button and let's dive into the details that could shape your 2026 investing strategy. First up is Healthcare Triangle. This company provides cloud-based data analytics, managed services, cybersecurity, and AI-driven data processing. These services are designed specifically for healthcare and life sciences firms. Their entire business model is split between short-term software service contracts and longer-term managed services. They also offer higher-margin SaaS platforms. According to their latest filings, in Q3 2025, they generated $3.49 million in revenue. This represents a strong 45% year-over-year increase from the same period in 2024. But despite the top-line growth, the company is still operating at a loss. They lost roughly $1.9 million for that quarter alone. Across the first 9 months of 2025, they pulled in $10.75 million in revenue. But they still recorded a net loss of just under $5 million. Looking further back, in 2023, Healthcare Triangle reported full-year revenue of $33.2 million. That number was significantly lower compared to 2022. They posted a GAAP net loss of $12.34 million for that year. This loss was primarily due to impairment charges related to intangible assets and goodwill. If you remove those one-time write-downs, their normalized loss stands at around $8.1 million. Their trailing 12-month revenue sits around $12.9 million. This confirms that the company has been struggling to maintain the scale they once had. Margins remain extremely tight. Their cost of revenue consumes most of their sales. This leaves very little gross profit to work with. At the same time, operating expenses are high relative to revenue. These expenses are driven by general and administrative costs, acquisitions, and integration activities. Their EBITDA margin remains deeply negative at around 34%. Net margins remain equally pressured. On the liquidity side, the situation is challenging but not beyond repair. In early 2025, the company raised around $13.7 million through equity financing. This significantly boosted their cash on hand. But by the end of Q2 2025, their cash reserves had fallen to around $3.23 million. This was due to heavy operating expenses. Their operating cash burn for the first 6 months of 2025 was over $8.1 million. This proves one thing: they need to improve their business model quickly. Unless they transition more customers into recurring SaaS and platform-based contracts, they may face additional capital raising needs. From a business model perspective, the upside potential is clear. Healthcare Triangle is actively shifting toward recurring SaaS contracts. Historically, SaaS contracts carry higher margins, better customer retention, and more predictable cash flow. If they successfully convert a larger share of their customer base into platform-based users, the company could experience meaningful margin expansion. Their acquisition in June 2025 shows they're committed to scaling their capabilities. This acquisition included cash, stock, and a potential future earnout. It shows they aim to diversify revenue and strengthen their long-term value proposition. However, significant risks remain. Their customer concentration is high. Their top 5 customers contribute around 56% of their revenue. Losing even one major client could have an immediate and severe impact on their financials. Cash burn is still heavy. Integration costs remain elevated. Profitability is still a distant target. Even so, for investors comfortable with high speculation microcap opportunities, Healthcare Triangle may offer potential upside. This is only true if their SaaS transformation gains traction and the company can strengthen its balance sheet. Now let's turn to Sun Hydrogen. This is a fascinating early-stage company working to make renewable hydrogen affordable. They want to use sunlight and water through photoelectrochemical modules to produce green hydrogen. Their central goal is ambitious. They aim to use proprietary nanoparticle technology to produce hydrogen at around $2.50 per kilogram. Achieving this would dramatically disrupt the hydrogen market. They're also developing a thin-film solar cell and hydrogen hybrid model. This may give them additional flexibility in scaling production. Financially, Sun Hydrogen is still pre-revenue. They have not yet generated meaningful sales. They remain heavily dependent on R&D advancements and investor funding. In Q3 FY 2025, they reported an operating loss of about $1.56 million. Their R&D expenses were $120 million. That R&D number nearly doubled year over year. This shows the company is aggressively investing in its technology. For the 9 months ending March 31st, 2025, R&D expenses grew to $2.4 million. Total operating expenses reached around $4.4 million. Despite operating losses, Sun Hydrogen is in a relatively strong liquidity position. For the 9 months ending March 31st, 2025, they held roughly $32.2 million in cash, and they also held $6.1 million in short-term investments. This gives them more than $38 million in liquid assets. Even by Q3 2025, they maintained about $33.5 million in cash. They also had around $2 million in short-term investments, and this provides them a solid runway to continue developing their pilot systems. However, governance concerns are present. In their Q3 2025 report, the company disclosed a material weakness in internal financial controls. Their CEO is acting as CEO, CFO, and principal accounting officer at the same time. This concentration of financial authority raises oversight risks. Additionally, Sun Hydrogen completely wrote off its $10.1 million investment in TECO 2030. This happened after TECO filed for bankruptcy. Another major concern is their extremely large share count. They have about 5.44 billion common shares already outstanding. They also have more than 1 billion potential shares sitting behind warrants, options, and convertible preferred stock. This means dilution risk is high. On the technology front, Sun Hydrogen is making meaningful progress. In May 2025, they hired TPG engineers to design the front-end engineering for a pilot hydrogen production plant. This pilot facility will be 25 square meters in size. It will include more than 15 PEC modules. Each module is around 1.92 square meters. Construction is planned to be completed by Q4 2025. This represents a massive step from lab-scale systems to real-world testing. They also maintain active research partnerships with the University of Iowa. They also work with the University of Michigan, and they collaborate with the University of Texas at Austin. These partnerships could accelerate optimization and improve efficiency. Their technology has already demonstrated real promise. One of their 1,200 single pentameter PEC panels achieved close to 9% solar to hydrogen efficiency. This testing happened in Japan at the University of Tokyo. This is a strong efficiency rating for a module of that size. It supports the potential commercial value of their approach if scalability proves feasible. The bullish case for Sun Hydrogen revolves around execution. They must successfully launch their pilot plant. They must show scalable efficiencies, and they may need to secure licensing or commercial partnerships. With their current burn rate of around $1.1 to $1.2 million per quarter, they have multiple years of runway. This assumes no major cost overruns. Their two-track technological strategy gives them flexibility as they refine their approach. But even with the promise of their technology, the risks remain high.